Okay, welcome everyone to the very first coherence codes. I want to start with really bringing you here, present, and coherent, because that's the way we do things here. Before I say that, this isn't one of these have no thoughts, only bring your good vibes, only do the good things. Because what I've learned is the best way for us to progress and the best way for us to move through whatever it is that we're moving through is to be very honest and to be very centered with what is going on in the moment. So we're going to start there. If it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes, or you can just have your eyes just at a soft gaze. Just bring yourself here, bring yourself present. We have, I'm sure, all had a busy weekend for whatever reason or another. We've certainly had a busy year. And so, wherever you've been, wherever your thoughts have been, your emotions have been, I just want you to breathe into that. Just breathe into your body. And just imagine you're breathing all the parts of you back in. Maybe it's with a pet, a child, a space, a circumstance. Maybe it's with the Christmas decorations, the party that you went to, with your business, with your job, whatever it is, wherever it is. Just imagine that any pieces, any parts of you, anywhere that you have lent your energy to, is just coming back. And you know what? As it comes back, let's give it these aspects of us a beautiful spiritual cleanse. So I'm going to invite you to tune in to whatever you know to be your highest power. Maybe for you, that's a beautiful, brilliant white light. Maybe it's your highest self and your highest wisdom. Maybe it's your soul, the angels, the guides. Just imagine that being, that presence, that frequency moving within you and around you. Imagine in its shape, in its color, in its sound, in its essence, that this frequency is moving over and around your body. And all of those parts of you, as they return, are moving through this force field. And as they do, they return back to you with this beautiful sense of belonging, this beautiful sense of truth, this beautiful sense of, I'm here, I'm home. And that if these parts of us have picked up anything on the way, then as they move through this force field, they simply transmute so that any energy goes to exactly where it's needed in this moment. And all that returns to you is all that is yours. Now, what can often happen is we find ourselves scattered, or we give ourselves to these people, places, these situations. We also find that we pick up on energies. We pick up on other people's things, on places we've been, on old energies. So as we've got this beautiful frequency around us, let's give it all back. So anything that we are holding on to in this moment, that for this next hour or so doesn't need our attention, doesn't need our awareness, those things that weren't ever ours to carry, or maybe they were, but only for a while. We're just going to imagine them moving through this frequency. But this time, as we release, we're going to bring in this energy of gratitude and of love. Gratitude of having the opportunity to hold this for whatever reason it came to us. And just let it move through this force field again, cleansing, clearing, bringing all that it needs so that it can return to the people, the places, the situation, or to Mother Earth that needs it the most. Breathing in all of you and breathing out anything that is not yours. And then finding yourself fully present. Nothing has to be perfect. Nothing has to be prepared. Just here, just arriving. And to the truth of where you are right now, in this moment, in this time, on this day, in this environment. No pressure, no performance, no feeling that you need to get it right. Just coherence. Because coherence begins by meeting yourself where you are, exactly where you are in this moment. Not where you're going to be, not where you've been. Coherence starts in this present space. And as you're here, I just want you to tune in to whatever it was that brought you here today. That feeling, that sensation, that desire, that want. Just tune in and get connected to it. And just thank that part of yourself that knows that coherence is possible. Because everything that you've lived this year, everything's been an invitation to now. Every detour, every contraction, every too much, every not enough. Every moment, whether you felt scattered or thin on purpose or otherwise. It was all there as it was meant to be. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was lost. And tonight we're going to begin decoding what your soul's been trying to tell you all along. Where you are right now is not an accident. So welcome here and welcome to this space. And when you are ready, just simply come back. Here, now, present, aware, awake, and ready for this next hour of life-changing information. Let me know how you feel now, if anything's changed in your numbers. Jill, I remember you from Stevenage Church. I thought it was you when I saw your face. I was like, oh, it's been a long time. Oh. Okay. So I called tonight's call the year of too much. And the reason I did this, because from the very many conversations that I have been having in soul space with my private clients, with friends and family, and with the different circles that I hang around with, this seems to be a really common theme. That when I've been asking people how they've been feeling, there's been this energy of this kind of acceleration, this feeling of like, oh, I need to be there, I need to do something. And then this kind of like, I don't know, you see what my body's doing, this kind of like forward and backwards movements, this energy of maybe scatteredness. Let me know in the chat how you've been feeling this year. But this frequency of having too many expectations, too many pressures, too many responsibilities, too many identities, too many things going on, too many inner voices pulling you up and down, right? This thing of like I feel like I've been doing so much, but I feel like I'm not quite where I want to be. Give me a 1 if this was you. I've been hearing this in different guises over and over and over again, right? 1, 1, 1, 1. I've been overwhelmed and in depression, stuffing my feelings and not allowing myself to simply be. It is so common. And I'm sure that there's many people here who can be there with you, or who have been there with you. And I want to say this is that this feeling of everything being too much, of there being too many things that we need to do, it's not because you weren't capable. It's not because you were lazy. It's not because, oh, well, I procrastinate. Who's a procrastinator here? Right? And who beats themselves up for being a procrastinator? Right? I'm the worst. And I realized that it's not because I'm broken. It's not because I'm not capable. It's not even because I don't want the thing, because sometimes I really want the thing. But what's been happening is that our soul, our higher self, our wiser self, our sage self wants us to be somewhere, wants us to do something. It has a plan for us. It's like, it's so annoying because it has this really high level of trust in us, right? It's like, I see you. I know what you can do. I think you're really capable. You can build the business. You can have the relationship. You can earn the money. You can finish the project. You can start the project. You can do all of these things. And then when the human comes in and comes on board, something else entirely happens. And through my work, especially in my psychotherapeutic practices, I've realized just how common this is, and how what's actually going on in these moments is not a failure or a fault. It is simply that our conditioning, our programming, the things that we have picked up through our culturally created self, our consumer selves, these different aspects of us are pulling us somewhere else. They're taking us into into somewhere else. Give me a one in the chat if you've ever had it where you started something and then your nervous system just goes wild. Your nervous system is like, "Ma," like you sign up to something and then you're like, there is no way I'm capable. And you start like getting really stressed out. Right. You say that you're going to do a talk somewhere and then suddenly you're like, "Ma," like, like I get really scattered, or like my root chakra like wants to fall out of the floor. We have this like inner battle and this inner fight coming up, right? 1 1 1 1 1, me, yes, yes. I just like saying 1 1 1 1. That's why I tell you to put ones in the chats. That's why I do it. I was doing a talk the other day in the library and I wanted to say to everyone, put a one in the chat. I'm like, no, I'm in real life here. I can't tell them to do that. You have to put your hand up. So this incoherence, this energy of I want one thing, but my body is telling me something different. My mind is telling me something different. There's nothing wrong with that. What that's telling me is actually some really good news. The good news is that you have started to create some motion. You started to create some traction that tells me that you're moving forward, that tells me that you're starting to take action, that tells me that there's something that's been driving you that's going to stretch you or pull you or expand you into something new. Because I'll tell you this, right? So Jean's got a talk on Thursday. Yeah. Before the talk was there might have been this kind of push, this thing of like, well, I want to be visible. I want to get my voice out there. I want to help people. I want to make my business to be more successful. I want to increase my audience, whatever it is. There's this pull, right? But until we actually do something about it, it's just a pie in the sky idea. It's just something nice. It's just something that's safe. It's something that I can daydream about. The moment I step forward is when everything in my system goes, whoa, we don't know this. Whoa, this is unfamiliar. And the human condition, it's like a cosmic joke. I had got this in a channeling and I'm like, this is the cosmic joke. You ready for it? Our soul wants expansion. Our soul has this unbelievable trust. Our soul wants adventure. Our soul wants to grow. Our soul path is, well, I start here and I'm not going to end here. There's a whole myriad of experiences that want to happen. Marvelous. And the more in tune we get with that aspect of us, the more grand our ideas may be. The more I'm likely to say yes to that talk. The more likely I'm going to say yes to that date. The more likely I'm going to say yes to starting a new challenge, experience, business, spiritual practice, dance class, singing, whatever it is. Our body, however, is wired very differently. Our body is wired for safety. Our body is wired for familiarity. Our body is going, let's just stay here. We survived this long and we did fine. Don't change it, darling. And so whenever we go to move something, especially something like a talk, give me a show of hands or pop a one if like public speaking is one of those things that kind of gets the, and that can be, when I talk about public speaking, that can be from like your content on like Facebook. If you're doing that, that can be something like this, that can be in front of a audience, in person, online, on the stage, singing. Just a little proud mum moment. My 13-year-old opened the town concert today. He didn't tell us because I think it would have brought these nerves for him, but he didn't tell us. And he sang he like opened the town stage. So it's on my stories if you want to have a look at that. I'm very proud. Oh, he was awesome. Thank you. So it depends on the situation. I love to be the center of attention. I love that you love to be the center of attention. But what begins to happen when we want to move into something is our body holds a whole different story. Our body starts to look at who we were and where we were and what we believe to be safe. So every time we go to do something that sits beyond that, our job is to train our nervous system, if you like, and to train our thought system as well, that this is okay, that this is safe. And for me, that's been my lifelong journey. For me, it's been this whole dialogue between actually following my soul and doing the things that I want, that I have this calling to do, and then listening to my body and getting this information from it. Because maybe like you, this is what I was told if I wanted to complete something. Work harder. Who's heard that? Just work harder. Just focus. Just push yourself a little bit more. Just fix that brain of yours, Melissa. I was told that. Stop daydreaming. Just focus. Just get to the task at hand. And as somebody who often likes to have, 25 things going on at once, and somebody who always in the back of the class, I was told, stop daydreaming and twiddling your hair, which I still do. My superpower now. I've realized that it's not more effort and it's not more focus and it's not working harder that's actually the key here. The key is coherence. The key is understanding that there's different parts of me and I bring them all into alignment. That's one thing. The other part is understanding what I'm cohered to. Because I spent a lot of my life being in alignment with my fear. And I spent a long time being in alignment with my small self, the one that was told, you can't do this and don't put your head above the parapet And who do you think you are? And that was driving me for so long. And it came out in some really weird and wonderful and wacky ways. But the moment that I said, and this was back in about 2016, I said to myself in a workshop, mainly because I thought it sounded cool, I said, I'm going to live a soul-led life. I'm putting my soul in charge. And my soul went, yippee, we're going to have adventure. We're going to have fun. We're going to expand. We're going to grow. We're going to do all these things. Yay. And it began to show me visions of things that my human didn't think was possible. It began to show me visions of things like being on a stage and having a global audience. And even I remember finding a notepad from back in I think it was about 2017, 2018. And I'd written in there that I will create my own healing modality. And it was there. So I saw these things, but none of it felt believable. But my soul in that moment went click. And then it's been this last 8 years where I've really had to understand and have this journey with coherence. And so this year, or in this last month, when I've been having the conversations that I've had, and I wanted to put on this free experience before the end of the year, the coherence codes came in. And what they showed me is that as we come into more coherence, it gives us more clarity. It gives us more direction. It gives us that sense of purpose. It gives us that sense of peace. And I think more than ever, more than anything, it gives us this sense of aliveness. Do you know what I mean by when I say aliveness? That when we're doing things, like on Thursday, I spent the whole day writing copy for various things. I was so energized. I was like, I'm on fire. I just like cracked it out. Not because I necessarily love sitting there and typing and love sitting there and writing and love doing the admin, but the channel that was coming through, the end point that I was working towards, the mission that I had connected with, that was so in alignment with my soul, and I'd done the work to bring my body and my thoughts on board, that 3 hours passed and I'm like, check me out. I have done all of this, like celebrate. Woo. And I sent it off to my web designer, and I'm like, she's like, my God, Mel, how did you get that done so quick? But this is coherence. How many of you in here would love that? Give me a 5. I'm a bit switching things up. Give me a 5 if that's like, yes, well, sounds amazing. 5 by 5. Does it solve all your problems? 6? Woo! I'm going one step further, and Laura's getting a 6. Fabulous. I'd like to say that coherence solves all your problems, but I'm going to say it probably solves the majority of them. That's a bold statement. But for me, it's been one of my biggest truths and my biggest perspective shifts. That as we move into this knowing that there's something there that's got my back, that we move into this knowing that there's something there that's driving me, and that my job is to be driven by the parts of me that want me to expand. And my job isn't to feel comfortable. Like my life isn't I'm someone, I love comfort. Some of you have heard my stories about this. But our life isn't meant to be fully comfortable. And I'm going to say it, it's not meant to be in suffering either. That doesn't mean we're free from pain. That doesn't mean we're free from hardship. That doesn't mean we're free from challenges. But in my world, we take every opportunity, we take every challenge, we take every contraction, we take every restriction, we take every experience, not as a this is a problem that needs to be fixed, not as a oh my God, this is a sign from the universe, but as an invitation into how do I become more of me in this situation? If this situation was teaching me about something, if this situation was teaching me more about who I am and how I serve, what would it be teaching me? For me, and I know for many of my members and my clients, having this flip of this understanding that the hardships in life aren't really even just something that we're meant to get through. They're part of our challenge. They're part of our growth. They're part of our becoming. It changes what we allow ourselves to do, what actions we take, what we believe about the world, about ourselves, about life. It changes how we show up. Doesn't mean we want the hard things to happen, but it makes the hard things, should we say, more tolerable? Is that a good word? More bearable, more expansive. Because when we're in coherence, mind, body, soul, yeah, I'm moving towards my mission. I live a life led by soul. That was my one. I live a life led by soul. When these things happen, we start to switch on different aspects of us. What happens, and this is my past life, what happens when we are, well, I need to sort this all out. Any control freaks here in the audience? We can admit it, right? What happens is we go into our mind, right? We try to micromanage what it is that we are, that what we're going through. And the nature of the mind is this. I'm going to do a movement, is like this. The nature of the mind is it tumbles in on itself. Anyone forget that feeling, that visual, that sensation, right? The mind just, it tumbles in on itself, and it has a lot of wisdom. Yes, definitely has a lot of knowledge. That's not always wisdom, FYI, right? Definitely has a lot of words, definitely has a lot of excuses, and it often argues with itself. Or is that just me? Your brain, like, it argues with itself. We all know that, right? But it's this. When we're living from coherence, so when we have our soul in the center, in charge, in the middle, the nature of our soul is this. Yeah. The nature of our soul is expansion. The nature of our soul is light. I think the soul has been known as light for centuries in many different languages. But it's this feeling of infinity, of never ending, of growth, of openness. When we're in the energy of soul, we're in the same, let's call it intelligence, because it is an intelligence. We're in the same intelligence that all of the mystics of the past have tapped into. We're in the same intelligence that all of the sages of the past and the present and the future have tapped into. We're in the wisdom of where all of the solutions, the channels, the inventions, those miraculous moments that we hear about, those words that you've read in books that have hit your soul and hit your heart. When we're in that, we're tapping into all of that. When we're in this, We are limited to mainly our mind, yeah, and our past experiences and the logic and the conditionings and the programmings and the human self, and it tumbles in. Coherence is not just living from soul. Coherence is soul, in my definition of this week, is soul leading the way and bringing all of these other thoughts, parts of us online. It's not, Mom, my soul wants me to do this. My nervous system's fired up. My brain's telling me that, and I'm going to ignore all that and push through, and it's going to be amazing. Because that's when we get what? Burnt out. Yeah. That's when we get like putting ourselves in trouble. It's when we can't listen to our intuition. Yeah. That's when we, bite off more than we can chew. That's actually when we can get confused because we're ungrounded. Something I'm so passionate about as spiritual beings, yeah, as people who are wanting to have a spiritual experience, the only place, write this down, the only place you can have a spiritual experience is in your body. Oh, I got your goosebumps, Joe. It's only in your body. You can't have an experience outside of that. The only time you can have a spiritual wisdom come through, right, where we can find the words to articulate what we're doing. So it's not just the feeling, right? Who's ever been in a meditation space and you're just like, I'm in the feeling. It's the best thing. If you when you hit it, it's like it's the best thing. Maybe we'll do a little thing later. But then it's like life still needs to life. No one here, I don't think, has a life mission of living on top of a mountain. Right? Maybe in past lives, maybe. And then we're hitting it and we're in there all the time. Every single one of us here, too much snow. Every snow angels. Every single one of us here is here to have that human experience. And part of that human experience is to figure things out, is to do things, is to trench up that mountain where no one's tread before, right? To put our foot in the clean snow. This is so satisfying, right? Yet we our brain wants us to look around and go, okay, well, I'm going to follow that path because that's the safe one, right? Our souls, our souls like, now we got this, we're fine. So our body is the conduit. Our body is where we're going to be receiving it all, and where the action's going to take. And so for me, it's about bringing all of those different elements through. Where you are right now, whether you're at the bottom of the mountain, the middle, the top, in the snow, in the sand, wherever you are, in my world, there isn't an accident. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And quite often this suffering that I speak of, this thing which I'm not sure we're meant to be experienced as suffering, is when we can't be in acceptance of this. I'm not in acceptance of where I am. I should be. I'd love to know what this group is, whether you're in the A, I should have been further along than I am now. That's an A. Like I didn't do enough this year. On the B is like, well, I did too much. I did so much. But I feel like, well, actually, maybe it's both. I did so much that I feel like I've just kind of not gone anywhere. So there's the didn't do anything, feel like I didn't do enough. And then this is like, I feel like I did too much. And so B is like, I feel I did too much. Okay, let's go C then, Jean. Let's have a C. C's both. C's like, I did too much of the wrong thing and not enough of this thing. And now I'm just like, I'm knackered and I'm like 12 steps behind where I wanted to be. Okay, this is so common, and we're going to decode this tonight, why that happens. So in my world, we work on this philosophy that everything's an invitation. Where I am now, it's an invitation. Knowing that I did too much or too little or too much of the wrong thing, just know that it's data, it's an invitation. Every detour, every contraction, every moment that you were scattered or where you were stretched, there was a message there. Should we be lucid enough to listen to it? So I'm going to let you come out of the now moment for a minute. It's where we spend most of our time, actually. Looking back over this last 12 months, since January, what were you focused on? Just let some things move into your mind. What were you focused on this last 12 months? Maybe you had a word of the year, and that was to be your guide. If something comes to mind, you can pop it in the chat. Being more consistent, trust and balance. My word of the year is dominate. Fabulous. Did you dominate? My physical disability of being overweight and getting, hold on, I've cut you off there. Getting surgery because I couldn't do it alone. Creating a new me. It did over, yes, Lord. Trust. Okay. What did you start but didn't finish? What did you start? Now, I know a couple of you said, well, I've got a multi-year thing, and I can't start. I started a bachelor, a BA or an MA or my PhD. Don't expect you to finish that. But even if it's that, like, did you finish what you set out to start? If you were writing a book, did you write the amount of chapters that you were going to do? If you started a program, did you watch the first 3 calls and then more kind of filtered away? Did you pick up a book and read some of it? Have you got 12 podcasts open in your tab, your thing that you're like, oh, didn't finish that? What did you start and never finish? A new program that you wanted to create. Haven't launched my programs, but have got so much more clarity. I've got a course to finish. It's given me a nudge to dominate that and finish it by the end of this year. Amazing. I have 1 multi-year project. So I have about 6 books that I started, challenges with business mentors. I'm still halfway through reading my book, which is the last in the series. The Initiative Path with Matthias de Stefano. Amazing. I'm behind with that. I'm very much in procrastination. So many books. Okay. So one of the things that we can look at is, what was it that brought us into making that decision to start in the first place? Because I'm going to say something that might feel like it's contradicting everything I've said, but it's my truth. We don't have to finish everything we started. We start. We don't have to. There's no law that you have to finish every book that you started reading, because if you pick it up and you're like, not for me, yeah, if you pick it up and you're like, oh, right, and it just isn't, it doesn't light you up, you don't have to finish it. Where the suffering aspect comes in, oh, when I started it, and I should, that amazing word, I should have finished it by now. And so it piles up. And then you've got 3 books sitting on top and you're like, I will one day get to it. What if you just go, no, I really want to know the ending. I've nearly finished book 9 of Outlander. And I'm like in this weird thing of like, I don't want it to ever end. I think I'll cry when I read the last word because it's been 2 years since I've been reading them. There's a book 10's coming out soon. But anyway, most of the books are about mindfulness, which is a huge part of my business. Isn't that ironic if we mindlessly, right? We don't have to finish everything we start. But what I really want to invite you to get good at and to think about those things that you started and didn't finish, right? So particularly something that felt important, maybe that started and didn't finish, maybe something you invested your time or your money or your energy in. Yeah. Where did that original decision come from? When you signed up to the thing or when you picked up the book, was it aligned to my future? Yeah, like my destiny, my higher self? Or was it aligned with my fear? Was it like aligned with my lack? I don't know enough, so therefore I need to do this. If I don't do this, I will never succeed. The bro marketing is very good at making you think that if you don't sign up now, your life is going to be incomplete, right? Those things that you started and didn't finish, where, oh, where did they come from? From FOMO. FOMO can be fine, but I want you to just start to get really good at this. And actually, as the week moves on and I share these codes with you, by the end of this, you'll be like, yeah, I know where to make what to start and not what not to, right? Because what happens is every time we start something or every time we have these different agendas going on, it's like we've opened like another tab in our brain. Yeah. It's like my brain's gone, I'm going to open this and then it's running. And then I'm going to open this and then it's running. And then I'm going to open this and then it's running. And then it keeps on running and they're all literally open in your brain. Yeah. Or in my world, I'll talk about your Akashic records. That it is like you've got all of these systems running and on the go. And there's not much coherence in there, right? Because your brain, your energy is like, I don't know where to focus. Because I've got these 20 things all wanting my awareness and wanting my attention. And so you go to pick up the new thing, which may be driven by soul, which may be driven by fascination, by learning, by expansion, by self-care, by what I should be doing. Like it could be fueled by anything. But when you've got these 19 other tabs open, the 20th tab is only going to have so much of your attention. It's only going to have so much of your energy. And what happens, again, let me know if this is you. You start something and you're like, whoosh, all the energy's in there. And I'm like, oh, I'm rocking this. I'm doing this. I went to the first 3 calls. They're all in my diary. And I bought my new notebook and I'm writing other things down. Then after the third one, you're like, and you run out of steam. Or it gets a bit hard, or you're asked to do a bit of homework, or you're asked to do some additional reading, or well, now you can't say yes to this Christmas party because you've committed to doing this thing that's on that night, and you're like, "Oh, it's only once, it's fun. I don't need to do it." Or you see the call coming up in your diary, you're like, "No, maybe I won't today." We've all done it. We all done it. We've all done it, and it's fine. And it's draining your energy. And unfortunately, what's likely to happen, and you tell me this, because I'm just guessing here, that you get to the end of the year when you've said 2025 is going to be my year. I'm going to dominate the world. And then you're like, oh, I didn't do the things that I wanted to do. But I'm tired and I don't have the energy and I don't have the focus and I've just been procrastinating. And it's all right for them because they blah, blah, blah. But for me, I don't have, I'm not cut out for it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed. I'm in apathy. I'm in frustration. I'm in all these kind of like lower energy feelings. When actually, all it is your system is running 20 tabs, or maybe even 2,000 tabs, if you're anything like me. And it's just, the system's like, no. Like little Britain. Computer says no. So it's all just boom, turning down. Yeah, like the spoons analogy. There's only so many I can do. And so we start to get really good at how I'm spending my spoons, what tabs I'm opening, and then which ones I'm closing off, which ones I'm filing away, which ones I'm putting in the recycle bin, and which ones I'm keeping, which ones I'm doing for later, which ones I'm going to throw into ChatGPT and summarize for me, and then decide that I'm going to bring that all into one thing, right? It's all an invitation, but it begins with this awareness. It begins with understanding. Tuning in is that first coherence code. Understanding what I started and didn't finish. Understanding what I longed for, but never let myself begin. I really wanted to do that thing. I really wanted to read that book. I even went and bought the book, and then I just sat there. I really wanted to go on this holiday. Pop it in the chat. Something that you really longed for, that maybe 5 years ago you thought, yeah, by 2025, I'll have been to Africa. Or I'll have, I don't know, like, I don't know what it is. You tell me what it might have been. What we longed for, but never let ourselves begin. Moving, starting a relationship, finishing a relationship, being further ahead in our business, applying to speak on stage, reaching out to that person that you thought, yeah, they'll never respond to me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah. Finding that bravery. And what that means. So I should be further in my business. Again, it's that should word. What was it that I longed for, that I'm like, you know what, if I was a little bit more brave, or if I was a little bit more organized, or if I didn't procrastinate so bloody much, what would I have done that I didn't allow myself to do? So let it be there, big or small. What did you just let quietly slip away? It's not urgent. It's not important. No one cares. No one would listen. I don't think I'm good enough. I've never seen anyone do it. I'll probably fail. Yeah. These things where we talk ourselves out of it. They won't let me. You know, it's even this last 2 years actually now I've started, you know, I think you all know I've got young kids, my family. And something that was really yearning in me was to go away, like on my own, without my family, without having to have that responsibility, and to go on these like almost pilgrimage type experiences, right? And to really use this time where I can know myself, and I can study, and I can connect with the land, and not have to be responsible for anyone else but myself. And it was a yearning. And for years I just told myself, well, I'm a mum, so I can't go away. I can't be away for more than a day. That would make me a bad mum. That was a story I told myself. But there was this thing, there was this yearning, there was this like energy that I wouldn't let up. And the amount of times I said no to things, and then as I said no, the regret and the wonder and oh well, one day, or when they're 20, when they're 20. My youngest is 8, and like my eldest is 14 next week. So like it's like I feel like I've been a parent for a long time. And then 2 years ago, I found that bravery and that courage and that something where I was like, I've just been invited to go to Santorini. Can I go? And my husband went, sure. And it was like that easy. And I was like, okay. And then since then, I've swanned around the world doing all these things, right? But it was something that I didn't give myself permission to. And then as soon as I did, it opened up something in me. It opened up the experiences that I could have. It allowed more energy to come in and come through as a parent and as a business owner, right? So this island trip, this writing, this doing your social media, right? This going to Egypt, like again, it doesn't have to be anything like magnificent. It could just be something. And I just want you over this week just to begin um to think about it. What have I yearned for that I've never given myself permission to allow to have? Because even that, from an energetic perspective, even that, like it's almost like, how are they showing it to me? So we've spoken about the tabs open. It's like a tab is open and there's and like the screen's glitching. And so it's trying to keep refreshing the screen. So it's taking up all of this energy by trying to kind of get the picture clear, because it's like, oh, I'm not quite sure where I am. So it's like glitchy away, like refreshing itself all of the time. And as soon as you go, yep, I'm doing this, amazing. Or you say, you know what? No, this isn't for me. It really is this being in this choice, right? Being in this knowing. Getting clients for your main offer, not yet, not done the workshop on waiting. It's not finished yet, nearly, but not quite. How many of us here like seem to just often have like lots of things going on at the same time? Is this quite a common thing? Like I often feel like I've got like literally 20 things happening that I'm trying to focus on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So even that, even if you've got all the things, even if you're running 4 businesses, have 3 kids, have a cat and a dog and a holiday let, and but I don't know, whatever else you have to do. You're welcome, Elena. Welcome here. A million things. Even if you've got that, coherence is your answer. Because what begins to happen is, as we come into this understanding that all of these aspects, the things that we didn't do, the things that we have done, the things that we've not finished, the things that we desire, the things that are calling our attention, the things that are triggering us, the things that are helping, lighting us up, the things that slip away, that as we understand these as data, and we understand these all as not just, oh, well, I did it or I didn't, but this is actually a conversation that's happening between your soul and your heart and your fears and your conditioning. That's all this is, a conversation. Not a failure, not a, I should have done better, not a procrastination. It is a conversation that your soul is telling you one thing, your conditioning's telling you another, your heart's telling you another, and your fears are telling you something else. And the moment we tune in, we begin to understand the first code. We don't try and force it. We don't try and logic it. We definitely don't judge it. We just see the truth of where my energy has been, where my energy wants me to go, and what my energy is telling me isn't possible. Right? We all do that. Just get curious, get aware. Where's my energy been taking me? Where's it been trying to, where's my soul, the adventure, the expansion, this been leading me? And where has this, the brain, Helena be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. This, the thoughts, the nature of the thoughts, the tumbling in. Where has that been giving me a different story? It's a conversation. Without one, the other one wouldn't be there. The thoughts won't tumble unless you give it something to tumble for. And then where is my body coming into fight, flight, freeze, which again has these weird and wonderful ways of doing it. This year, from the comments you've given me, your soul's been speaking to you. It's got you to say yes. It's got you to do something. It's got you to hear into this point. But also your conditioning's been speaking to you. And it's actually not been saying, even if it sounds like this, you can't do this. What it's saying to you is, we've not done this before, and I don't know how. What your conditioning is saying to you is, I don't know how to do this, and I can't do this alone. And what happens is we're so coherent to our thoughts, we're so coherent to our conditioning, because that's what we've known. Yeah. That our soul just goes, well, and it just kind of sits there. And then the thoughts come in, they're like, we've got her, she's gonna tumble, she's gonna stop doing it. But actually what it's saying is, hey, I can't do this alone. And when we're coherent, I'm going to tell you exactly what happens, because this is what happens with me. I want you to know that there's not one day where I'm not like terrified about what I'm doing, right? That interview that I had on Wednesday with Kyle Gray, right? When I messaged him, I was like, oh my God, he's going to say no. When they said yes, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? Beforehand, I'm like, oh my God, right? And it was like, and I was scared, but not in a like, oh my, I can't do this, but in the part of me that when I don't know what I'm doing, it's, you know what I said to it? It's cool, you don't need to do it. Because my soul knows exactly what it needs to do. And my soul is never, ever, ever going to lead me into a situation that I can't handle, that we, mind, body, soul can't handle. So this is what happens. Situation comes in, body fires up, goes, whoa, nervous system, root chakra, right? All the things happen. You don't need to know all the details, right? Brain starts firing up and going, no, you can't do it. And then I go, okay, what does my soul want me to know? And then my soul goes, hey, I know this. And it literally opens, it literally expands. My energy body goes, huh? And then those thoughts that tumble can tumble into my soul. And then my soul goes, it's cool, brain, fear, critical self, Geraldine, my one, so I call her. You don't have to do it alone. We've got this. Because that part of you that's scared was never meant to do it. The part of you that was meant to do it is the adventurer, is the wise self, is the sage, is the one that knows. Geraldine. Sometimes it's Gertrude, but they're two different voices, but we won't go into that today. I ran a call in my soul space called the Inner Boardroom, where we talk all about that. So if you're on soul space, make sure you give that a watch. When we start to get really good at this, we understand that our soul is speaking to us and has a message, that our conditioning is speaking to us and has a message, that our body is responding all year round. Our fear is speaking all year round, and our soul is speaking all year round. What we need to decide is which one is in control. Which one do we trust the most? Because the easiest one to trust the most is fear, because it's usually the loudest. And our body It's really interesting, right? Because people say this a lot. Tell me if you've heard this. Go with how you feel. You heard this? It's like the worst advice ever. It's the worst advice ever. Go with how you feel. Well, sometimes I feel like throwing people out the window. And that's probably not the best thing to do, right? Because how I'm feeling at the moment is, frustrated or is angry. How I'm feeling, if like if everything's just untapped, if I'm just like regular human, never had therapy, I've had lots of therapy, never had therapy, no idea, don't know what's going on, and just go with how I feel, I would be like this. And I would like sometimes do stuff and sometimes I wouldn't. I would sometimes do things that were happy and that were resourceful, and sometimes I wouldn't, because that's how I feel. I feel like eating chocolate biscuits like all the time. Well, I can't just go with how I feel. And then what happens is I'm making decisions every single time based on like the part of me that actually my body is responding. My body is responding to something. And Elena, I'm going to challenge you on the gut instinct, because in my world, I have a differentiation between our intuition and our gut instinct, because our gut instinct is very much our survival mechanism. And if our gut instinct is going, don't talk on stage because someone's going to throw a rotten tomato at you, or worse, because this is part of our history, our gut is going to respond to that. And so our job is to bring into alignment, what's my intuition aligned to? What's my strategy? Because when I have a soul strategy, when it's not, oh, I didn't feel like posting this morning, or I didn't feel like going and meeting my friend, or I didn't feel like emailing Kyle Gray and going, do you want to be on a podcast? Because I'm scared. My feelings told me not to. Then I'm listening maybe to the wrong part of myself. I'm going to say this because I prefaced all of this with our body is very important. Our body holds a whole heap of messages, and our body is always responding. And so what my invitation is, and this is the work really that I do through my spiritual psychotherapy and with my one-to-one clients, is to bring online the soul so that our body's always responding to that. And then we can look at regulating the nervous system. Then we can look at actually what's my body really telling me. Then we can look at where is the fear in my body. Like Julie put in the chat earlier about that she could feel this leak coming from her shoulder. This is really important information. But my invitation through this week is, let's get the soul on board first. Let's get the soul online first. Let this be our guide, and let our body and our mind respond. Does this make sense? Our body and our mind respond to our soul, rather than our body responding to our thoughts, which is what most of us do, and our thoughts responding to our body, and the soul's kind of cut out there. Okay. I like that. That's the level of self-awareness I want. This is it. Okay, so self-awareness then. There's 3 leaks. There's 3 tabs that I've identified. I want to know which one resonates with you the most, okay? So we've started on this before, but the first thing is, ironically, starting but not finishing. Okay, so this happens when your soul says yes. So you've come into that soul level, yes, I've got this. And then your fear says, no, not yet, not safe, not allowed, not possible, can't do it. It's not it. Give me a 1 in the chat if this, if you feel this. Starting but not finishing. You stopped doing that this year. It's been hard. Yeah. It really is a level of self-awareness. So this isn't laziness, and this isn't inconsistency. This is your nervous system literally getting caught between expansion and preservation. It doesn't know. It's trying to protect you. It's not doing anything wrong. Okay. What about this one? The not letting yourself begin. The I want it, but I don't feel allowed. The I don't trust myself yet. The this isn't the right time for me. The maybe next year. Or the well, I need 17 pieces more information before I can get going on that one. I'm just going to do another course, read another book, listen to another podcast, listen to all of the above. Okay, I've got one more. This, again, isn't yet another one I'm being strict with, but I'm not that great at yet. It's a practice. Yeah. Not letting yourself begin. This, again, sometimes this can be helpful so that we're not having 25 tabs open. The thing with this is, what am I aligning to? Like I said at the beginning, am I signing up or am I starting something out of fear? Am I putting this offer out? I know there's some business owners in here. Am I putting this offer out because I'm scared I'm not going to get any money this month? Or am I putting this offer out because this is something that really wants to express through me? These are better questions than, oh my God, how can I get my money back in? Yeah. Okay, here's one. Take a breath, because here's one I think most of us are going to be. Looking after everyone else first. This is the, oh, I'll do it, but my kids need feeding. Driving to all of the things. I'll do it, but my I don't know, parent needs my help, my friends. I am the I've got 5 of my friends telling me all of their problems and no one cares about mine. Oh boy, you feel attacked. Sorry. You finally stopped doing that this year. That's wonderful. That's me. I'm just going to do this for everybody else. My to-do list is down here because I've got everybody else's things. Oh my God, somehow I ended up on the PTA WhatsApp group. Do you know how I'm like, I just can't say, I just have to say no, because they beg. They beg and they plead. And I'm like, oh, my diary is empty and I can't. Right. No worries, Laura. Oh gosh. Okay, 10 minutes, then we'll be on. So this isn't were you with me? This isn't you being generous. This is old wiring. This is that wiring of, I'll be loved if I'm useful. I'll be safe if I'm needed. And I'll find my worth in service and abandon myself in the meantime. Who resonates with that one? Been doing loads of boundary setting this year, but to be fair, it's hard to unwire as a lifelong people pleaser. It is. And again, there's nothing wrong with service. There is nothing wrong with service. Like, we are meant to be of service, but we're not meant to be of service first. Our purpose in life, in my opinion, is to know ourselves. And that comes with what lights me up. Where are my strengths? What am I good at? What are my challenges? And bringing all of that. And then that outpours into service. I know my strengths. And if I've got a friend that's coming to me and needs help with my strengths, that is going to be a lot better me than if I'm just, trying to. They asked me to organize a spreadsheet for them. I'm like, well, we can try, but not going to happen. I'm so glad I don't have all these responsibilities now. Okay, good. So I want you to hear this. Thank you, Tony. I want you to hear this. Nothing that you dropped or didn't do was a failure. nothing that you avoided is because of any weakness that you hold. And nothing that you abandoned is wrong. So just take a breath into that. Just know that, as I said at the beginning, where you are is the perfect place. It was just all information. It was your fear showing you where it needed to be softened. It was your soul showing you what its true desires are. And it was your body showing you what it doesn't yet feel strong enough to hold. Okay? Okay? That's it. That's all it was doing. But now things change. Now, through this week, as we move through these coherence codes, you will start to begin to understand how the tabs that we have open are the key to everything. When we start to understand what tabs we've got open and how many there are and how many there are running, it becomes our guide. And coherence begins with tuning in. And you've already started. So tonight, your job isn't to fix anything. It's not to go back and go, oh my God, well, now I need to finish these 12 things because I've got 31 days and 32 days till the end of the year. Yeah, your job is just to notice. And I want you to begin to notice which of your tabs that you have open is the loudest. So you're going to find your loudest tab, the thing that's really kind of just drawing your attention, the thing that whenever you go to start something is just there in the background speaking to you. And I want you to notice what your body does with that. I want you to notice what your thoughts do with that. And I want you to notice what your soul's doing with that. And then tomorrow is when we begin to move. Tomorrow we'll begin to shift into alignment where having to make decisions just falls away. Does that sound tempting? Who likes making decisions? No one. We hate making decisions. When we're in coherence, we don't need to make decisions anymore. Not in the way that we did before. We have a strategy, and the strategy begins with our soul. So tonight's the awareness. Tomorrow we begin the evolution. Your soul is already beginning to speak to you. So just as we close, I'd love to give you just a little experience of that soul. Who's up for that? Okay. Okay. Your eyes can be open or closed for this, and we'll just be a couple of minutes. I just want you to begin to tune in to whatever you know to be your soul. This may be something you've done 100 times before. It may be something that you've never done. And so how we begin, I just want you to imagine that if your soul was somewhere within your body, where would it be? Where would be the core? Where would it lie? And yes, it may be all around you and you be in it and it be in you, but just pinpoint, arrive somewhere in your body. And if you're not sure, I want you to find the part of your body right now that feels most alive. I want you to find that aspect of you that just feels good. Go searching for that feel good feeling that exists somewhere in the body. And when you find it, I just want you to breathe into that, wherever it is. If your mind gets distracted, just come back to this feeling in the body. Might be in your left elbow, might be in your right ovary, might be in your heart, might be in your ear. Doesn't matter where it is. Just find that sense of aliveness. Feel good feeling. There it is. Breathe into that. And invite yourself to come out of words. So rather than finding the word that describes it, just be in the feeling of it. The feeling of this feel good feeling. And as you're there, you can let a word arise. You can let a word arise that explains or conceptualizes this feeling. So just let that word come. And then once the word comes, just go beneath the word and come back into that feeling. It's just a marker, it's just a signpost. Just be with the feeling. And I just want you to say to your soul or connect in with your soul and just say to it, I'm inviting you online this week. I'm making space for you this week. And as I make space for you, soul, I invite you to offer me this feeling more often. And to meet my thoughts with your expansion and your compassion and your love and your infinity and your peace, and whatever it is, whatever that word was. And then, with your soul still there, just have a little conversation with the body. Just bring the awareness into the body. And just acknowledge that the body is going to be going through some experiences this week. And just say, body, I know that you store all of the things that happen to me. I know you have your wisdom and I'm here to listen. But you don't have to do it alone. This feeling, this sensation, this soul is here. And just for this week, we're going to put our trust in our soul. We've got this. And then the mind, our beautiful mind, our beautiful brain, place where our thoughts are. Just tune into that. And just say, brain, thoughts, mind, thank you for all you do for me. This week, we're going to be doing things a little bit different, but don't worry. Our soul is guiding the way. Just for this week, we're going to respond to our soul. And whenever your thoughts come and whenever they begin to tumble, I'm just going to open into the soul. And you don't have to do it alone. Back, tune in once again to the soul part. That good feeling. Be in there. Be in the feeling. And let one more word arise. Just one more word arise that comes from your soul. And as you come back into this time, into this space, just type in the chat what that one word that came through was. Authority. Peace, peace, freedom, joy. Beautiful. Light, happiness. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay. Curiosity. Oh, Mac, you got 3 words. It's a very chatty soul. Curiosity, happy, excitement, openness, and freedom. These are gorgeous words. And the words are signposts because I'll leave you with this one thing. And how do you know it's the soul speaking? Just to make things a bit more complicated. Our soul doesn't speak to us in words. Our soul speaks to us in sensation, in frequency, in energy, essence. And our mind will respond to that and give us words just like it did. And how nice was that? How nice was that to have our brain respond to the soul? Felt good, right? It's giving you some great words. This is what we're going to be doing this week. And so your practice will be this tuning into the soul. And then I'm going to be taking you through 4 more coherence codes through the week. How it's going to work is this. I'll be doing some voice drops in the Telegram group every day, and I will be responding to any comments and questions and everything that you have. Yeah. So I will be putting the tasks in the coherence codes bit, and your job is to just respond to it. Just see what comes up. This is your invitation, yeah, to respond to that. And I will be replying. You can ask any questions that you have there. That's all good, but that's just on Telegram. On Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a live, extra live call, because I'm going to be bringing through my channel, and I will be channeling live for you, and all of you in this group are invited to come on the Zoom, and we'll more than likely go through into a channeled meditation from there. It's going to be, I don't know what's going to happen, because I just let them talk through me. And then you'll get a code every day until Friday. And then you'll have a couple of days to integrate. And then Sunday we'll be meeting again at the same time, and I'll be doing a closing off call where we'll have the 4 codes, and I will speak to you about the 3 codes essentially of alignment. Okay. The call on Wednesday will also be at 7:30, so I'm going to keep it the same time every day, and it's the same Zoom link every day. All I ask from you is that you respond to the tasks in Telegram. It makes everybody's experience more have more depth and more meaning. And for you to find the words and to be part of this will really start to anchor all of these works that we are doing. The codes that have come through they're so good. I'm looking at them and I'm like, this is literally like my strategy of life now. Amazing, well done. So thank you for being here, so that they could come through me, because I asked a good question, I got a good answer. This is fabulous. So yeah, so that's it. So I will be available on Telegram. So pop your questions in there, pop your responses in there, and I look forward to having your breakthroughs. I will drop something in there tonight so that you can start this evening, should you wish. If you know anyone that wants to join, send them the link. The more the merrier. Okay. Give me a 1 in the chat if you enjoyed it. Give you a 2 if you're like, oh, I'm never coming back here. You're not on Telegram. Well, just join Telegram, Joe. Just join it. You can delete it in a week. It won't be mega busy, and I've kept it very clean. I've kept it very coherent. I'll see you all later. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love. Bye, 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 bye.